Well, can I just say
pass it around.
that, Rustin, I think you should start wearing sleeveless shirts because.
I mean, I was gonna say, hey, Nate's wearing a shirt. Welcome.
A shirt with sleeves.
Shirt with sleeves.
With flamingos.
Yeah, it's actually kind of badass. I like it.
Dude, so I wore this shirt to a golf tournament. I got so drunk that I threw up later. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, you can ask the boys. I was gone.
The goner.
Yeah, I was gone.
Just had one on. Yeah, Rustin's been hitting that P90X, dude.
Oh, you
station.
have?
Oh my god.
Dude, easy.
It was jacked.
Dude, he's about to flex them fucking sleeves
You
off.
should check your ring camera later, by the way. I was definitely flexing on it.
I have one of your nipple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna put
As soon as I did that, I was like, I bet Lori gets those too.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, just me. I just get the juicy.
2181 into 14, engine 4, squad 1, truck 1, structure fire.
We got West Fire out on a fire at the West Fertilizer plant. They just advised that something exploded there.
Frontline Optics, the glasses that you see laying on the table. It's a first responder company. They make glasses, and you can get if you use discount code ENGINE, you can get 15% off. Also, proceeds go to families that have lost family members in the line of duty. So hit them up in the link below. Also, we've got our Salty Ladder Apparel Company merch. There's a hat here. It's a firefighter owned company, and he custom makes stuff. So he made our logo behind us. He does a whole bunch of stuff, and pretty much anything that you can come up with, he can make it. So, or just ask him, hey, come up with this, and he'll make you a pretty badass logo. So hit him up also in the link below. So we're gonna talk about low staffing.
Hot topic.
Kind of our tactics at our department with low staffing. The fire service in general, I think, in America is really at a low, kind of a lull of applicants in certain parts. I mean, obviously, certain cities are getting massive numbers in their testing, but
what about qualified applicants?
Yeah, qualified applicants.
Yeah.
Though.
I mean,
so,
I know that's something that's a challenge that we face.
Yeah.
I mean, even the rookies that we do that are qualified, they may not have the life experience that was once very easy to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like low staffing is a very popular topic right now. So why wouldn't we just jump on that bandwagon and talk about
to
it?
explain our tactics for our department that's low staffed, for like a structure fire, how many trucks respond to that, how many personnel do we have, water supply, kind of all of those things. So whoever wants to jump into that first.
Sure. So typically, if we were responding to a structure fire, we got 2 engines. Normally, or in a perfect world, we would like to have them staffed at 4, but here lately we're only running 3-man engines. So we have Station 1, which is 3 guys on an engine, and then a tender truck, and it's the same thing at Station 2. Obviously, whoever gets there first officer will assume command. He will perform a 360 while the backseat fireman will get a line pulled or do whatever else might need to be done. Get some irons in the ground, get the rip pack on the ground.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But pretty much all of the guys now, I would say majority of us, are pretty well seasoned to, once we get on scene, there's not a whole lot of talking. Kind of know what our officers want. So when we get there, we'll either grab a line, get it on the ground, and then our driver will charge it, and then we'll get some tools or whatever else may be. And then, of course, the tender driver, whenever they get there, they will connect a supply line to the engine and get water supply established.
We drive fire hydrants to the
Yeah,
incident.
yeah. So we
basically
don't have hydrants in the county, where we work, and so we have to take our water with us. And so we've got 2 tender drivers and trucks that we have respond with us on all fires. So
yeah, we take quite a bit of water with us.
Yeah.
Both engines have 1,000 gallons, and then we have both of our tenders have 3,500, right?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, 3,500 gallons. So we got a bunch of water coming.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, once those other, whichever station is second due, they'll get there and they will help out where need be, become doorman, get other tools on the ground, help out with water supply depending on the scene. If it's a major fire, we're gonna need more possible like drop tanks and stuff like that. But just kind of honestly, you would think if we with our response area being so big, you would think we would have plenty of time to kind of get a game plan mapped out. But really, by the time we get there, it's still kind of like
it's a shit show.
Yeah.
Still sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even if they say, okay, this is what's on fire, we still get there and it's like not
So much has to be done.
right.
It's
Yeah.
super task saturated
Yeah.
when we get there, and we have 8 guys.
8 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's max.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about needing to be squared away. I mean, obviously everyone in this job, if you're riding in the truck, I mean, you need to be squared away, but we don't have the luxury of working in a department that shows up with enough people that they could just walk inside the house and roll around and put it out.
Right.
So, I mean, everything has to be very strategic, very thought about. Yeah, that's mainly, when we get there, it is just balls to the wall.
What sucks too is usually those fires, usually it's like a trailer house that's burning, and by the time we get there, it's already fully involved. So then at that point, it's
Yeah.
just like surround and drown. So we really don't get to like make entry. It's kind of
Not-
rare.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of rare for us
It's
to
better.
do it. It's better now that we're 24s. But I mean, when we were 12s and going from home to the station to scene,
Yeah.
there was just no way. I mean,
It was extremely rare, even at that point. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah. And that's what we were even just talking to our rookie about the other day, is really kind of getting a firm hold on like orders by deviation, because just like you said, Nate, I mean, it's super important for us here. One, because your officer has a lot of stuff that he already needs to be thinking about. He may not tell you what to do every time. And it's so diverse on any call that we run. Just, in one response district, you're probably going to run a double wide trailer. The next one, it could be a 3-story barn dominium.
yeah.
It's just very, very diverse. And in saying that, our tactics also have to be very diverse. Obviously, we have to worry about water supply first, because we don't have the luxury of fire hydrants.
No. Yeah.
And that was a big learning curve for me. I came from a municipality that, I mean, there were some areas that obviously the plugs weren't worth a shit, but here it's your plug has a bunch of wheels and someone driving it. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, it's especially now that we've kind of transferred into opening another shift. Our staffing levels are back down to where we've had to really think about our strategy and how we're going to approach this stuff. And that was one of the things that our crew has talked about, is just orders by deviation. So if we get there, your officer doesn't say anything, we deviate to this.
Mm-hmm.
You as a firefighter in the back seat, you should know that if we get this and nothing is said, you do this.
Yep.
Orders by deviation. And that's something that, I mean, it's really not hard to do.
No. I think it takes a minute, especially our rookie. I mean, obviously, you hadn't ran any
Yeah.
calls, and so for a little bit, he's going to be kind of completely lost. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, but that's just how it is. I mean, really, for the guy in the back seat, if they're new, I mean, our rookie is he'll be on 2 weeks. This
Yeah.
next shift, it's his second full-time shift, and he's in the back seat by himself. So, I
Oh.
mean.
I guess I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I forgot
and
you were that
it's,
short staff.
It's kind of trial by fire. I mean, if you
Mhm.
just get it done with whatever you remember
Yeah.
or have learned up until this point.
Yeah. And coming to the training aspect of training him, there's only so much that we can do, and we almost feel like that we're just overloading him,
Yeah.
to the point to where maybe he's not retaining the information we're giving him, but we have to do that because if we're not running a fire for him to experience that. We want him to be as prepared as possible.
Right.
But there's a lot of it that, I mean, we're just gonna have to learn on the go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I started, I was there was times that I was in the back by myself, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure, especially for a newer guy that maybe hasn't done this at all, and you're like the guy that gets to do all the fun, but also like,
it's not fun to you yet.
Shit, what do I do for this situation?
Right.
You know, like, so it's a little nerve-wracking, and it can be until you get to that point where you're like, I'm a little more comfortable. Like, I was fine with medicals, but all the fire stuff, I was like,
so you get that first one, and then
I'm
you're
just gonna
like,
put
kind of know what it
water
looks
on
like.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So,
obviously it's not going to be the same as in the academy.
right.
Because
Yeah. No. Exactly.
I knew even before I was running calls, I was like, this is way different.
Yeah. Way different. Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm certified and everything, but whew, there was still some stuff. I was just nervous for that kind of call to come
Yeah.
out.
Oh
So-
yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
100%.
That's really important for like your senior guys being approachable. I mean, obviously, I've been trying to milk questions out of our rookie. I'm like, dude, ask the questions now.
Yeah.
Like, please do not wait until we pull up and something is on fire right now.
Yeah.
And then that's when you decide to have a question. Like, don't let that happen.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, and I think also, obviously time, but confidence. The more confident you become in this, the easier things kind of get.
Yeah.
And understanding kind of what to do. So,
Yeah.
but like, so when you talk about low staffing, how's grass fires? Like, how do those kind of work with everything that we have to do? I remember one came out last night. We were like, oh, because it's been raining a lot. So
Yeah, we were like, no way.
no way.
No way. Yeah, I mean, it's been, I would say, it's pretty close to how we were operating before. Obviously, it's not well, I say not as strategically demanding as a structure fire, but sometimes they are.
Yes.
There is these complex incidents that require us to utilize mutual aid agreements, and obviously water supply is an issue, maybe not as fast as structure fires.
Yeah.
But that's still something we have to think about, and I mean, just the vastness of our response area. I mean, we have 2 stations covering 900 square miles,
Yeah.
give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a lot of different things that could go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you've got multiple neighborhoods, but then you've got a lot of farmland
Yeah.
with multiple things on it.
Yeah,
You've
we
got
got
bad neighborhoods, good neighborhoods.
A lot of wooey.
Yeah, a lot of wooey.
Especially over, in our Station 2's district right now. I mean, it's just blowing up like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to think, I'm like, man, that's just less grass fires we're going to have to fight, with them
Yeah.
putting down more concrete and houses up. But honestly, for a while, it's just making a more complex wooey situation
Yeah.
by the day. And especially, we're in the month that it rains a lot, and then it'll probably stop and rain next June.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, you're exactly right. But I mean, we have to, as soon as the tone goes off for a grass fire, we have to get all of our structure gear, put it on the grass rig, then get our grass stuff on, our boots, our yellows, and then go. And so it's kind of a run around like a chicken with your head cut off first.
Yeah.
Every time,
for like
dude.
20
Musical
seconds. Yeah.
even on red flag days, everyone's like, oh my God. They're just losing their minds.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I would say tactically, they haven't really changed.
No.
I mean,
Just
we
one less
haven't
guy
really
on a
had
truck.
a big one. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
one less guy.
I guess that's because we'll take the tinder,
Leave it
take
there.
our water with us, leave it somewhere safety zone, wherever it's going to be, and then the guy in the other grass rig will pick them up and then go, and we'll just leave our tinder sitting. But
Yeah. So that way we have water on scene.
right, but it works for us, and I mean it's actually worked relatively fine for our low staffing problems. So
Just gotta do what you gotta do, man.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's worked for us. We're still able to operate safely at these things, and not at the expense of anyone getting hurt or anything.
Yeah.
Still got to be smart about it. We're still aggressive.
Yeah.
We're still aggressive with structure fires, aggressive with grass fires, but I mean, I think we're intelligently aggressive and we really look at it from a realistic lens of like how we should operate. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that.
I mean, also too, our mutual aid that we call early, call for towns south of us, and then if we need the city, then we call the city. But I think that's a good tactic to use early on, and you can always cancel them. So I mean, I like that our officers do that. So
Early and often.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
What's y'all's opinion and why there's such a lull in people wanting to be firefighters? Like, do you think that's a generational thing, or do you think that's a money thing, or do you think it's all the above?
Our kids, once they're in high school, they're forced down their throat. You need to go to college. I feel like that's always, because that was kind of what I experienced. It was like, and luckily my parents, they didn't shove that down my throat. They were like letting me kind of figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And but I don't think it's the case for everybody. I feel like there's some people out there who experience being like, you need to go to college, and so they always go to college and have no idea what they're going to go for, no idea what they like, and they just take a bunch of classes and waste a bunch of money and time.
That's what I do.
And don't figure it out until later.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, I think I want to go into the fire service.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, got into the game late.
Yeah.
But I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it, because everything happens for a reason.
Right.
But I think that's one aspect is people are forced, or not like forced, they're told you need to go to college.
Yeah.
Because you can't succeed without a college education. And obviously that's not true, because you can go into the fire service, you can go be a cop, or go weld. I mean, there's tons of people that need, or areas that need welding.
Yeah.
You can make a bunch of money doing that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
or like trades.
Yeah,
That's
trade.
That's what I was trying to say, is trades.
yeah, I
But
feel like all trades are kind of at a lull.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know. I knew I always wanted to do this. I think for me it was like I wasn't good at school, so I didn't keep trying. But I don't know if it was like a generational thing, like kids just don't want to work hard. Like,
Well, I feel like
mean,
everything is just so accessible right now.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that they would need is in their pocket. Like, they can have it right now.
right.
And the thought of going to school, and we're kind of getting more out of that. Trades are becoming more popular.
Yeah.
I feel like recently.
Yeah, they're kind of coming back.
Coming
Yeah,
back,
because
okay.
a bunch of kids didn't want to go to college. They felt forced, or they couldn't find what they love to do. And I think, I took the TEACS class in San Marcos, and a very popular topic there was like generational gaps. And a lot of those classes, they're talking about the Gen Z, what is the next one, Gen Alpha or
I
something.
don't know. Just start over.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And millennials, they want to feel they will take less pay if they feel what they're doing is important and it's important to them. So that's kind of making a shift in our direction, but they've also lived a life of having access to everything right now.
That's true.
So I feel like doing the work and really we see a lot of people in the academy drop out because they get into it, or even they take a CPAT to get into the academy, and they're like, whoa, I did not know this was physically demanding.
Right.
And even if they play sports throughout high school, or even some in college, like, it's still a shock to them to realize that we don't just take group showers and eat spaghetti all day, and,
Well, we do.
I mean, that's part of it, yeah. But and also right now, 9/11, was 23 years ago.
Yeah.
All those post 9/11 veterans and stuff,
Yeah.
they're kind of becoming retirement age because they got into the fire service because they wanted that camaraderie and stuff like that. There hasn't really been an event, thankfully, that is just all these people are flooding to go into the military, and they get used to that camaraderie, and then they come out and they don't know what to do.
Right.
Because that's what the fire service saw 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
So I think that's something to think about. And, we're getting kids that didn't even get to experience high school all the way because of COVID.
Yeah.
They didn't even get to graduate. They wanted to go play college ball or whatever, and they couldn't because of COVID.
Yeah.
The whole world shut down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something we're even struggling with our rookies right now.
Yeah.
And it's not just, a wasteland of no one coming to the academy and stuff. It's
Right.
getting better, but it's also been just a huge learning curve for, us teaching at the academy or being affiliated with that or our department of a way to reach these people,
Yeah.
to reach these young guys. And a lot of that is making us uncomfortable, which is like, the TikTok for the regional academy.
Yeah.
I mean, they've seen exponential growth from being able to reach people like that.
Yeah, so I was kind of put in charge of that, of social media and kind of trying to reach, the younger kind of generation that is just always on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And
Yeah.
so, Chief Malley kind of brought me in and noticed that I like to do that, or heard through the grapevine, because he called me into his office like the principal. I got nervous, but
Gave you some swats.
yeah, he was like, Scarborough. I was like, yes, sir. Like, I was in the academy. Yes. He was like, you like doing social media stuff? I said, yeah. He was like, cool. I need it. and he realized that's
Yeah.
how we have to reach kids now is through these things, because they're always on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put
Yeah.
tags on it all day, and then it pops up. And so, but as far as I know, I see the pages, but we've had just a tremendous growth on all the pages, and a lot of messages and getting into the fire service from those. And so I think that the more social media grows, and it's just going to continue.
Yeah.
I don't see it stopping anytime
AI.
soon.
Hell
so-
no, dude.
Gonna have
Yeah.
AI firefighters before long.
Shit.
Well, so I'll ask you, Nate.
So I was reading it.
I know you came from a municipality before that, obviously, their staffing was kind of the same as ours, right?
No, yeah, it was always low staffed.
So,
I don't know if that's the case anymore, though. I haven't really. I want to say they actually taken care of that.
really?
I'm not 100% sure, though.
Okay.
I hope they have.
Well, as far as, coming over here, do you see, a difference? One that I kind of see is there's more, it's still task saturated at the fire station just as much as it is on a fire scene. And so there's more delegation to what may not be found in a more traditional department that has an excess in numbers. Like, they're asking, Rustin, you're going to be helping out with pre-plans and logging those into the system and stuff. That's not really found at a traditional fire department that has hundreds of people, right?
Right.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, most of those extra things that was handled by officers. It wasn't really ever delegated to any drivers or firefighters that I know of. But yeah, basically, that department has been around a while. I was just saying earlier, it's just they've had the opportunity to grow and kind of make those adjustments that work for them. But unlike us, we kind of don't. We haven't had that experience yet as a department,
Yeah.
so we're still kind of trying to learn on that. So there's a lot more delegation at this department for other programs and stuff like that versus other city departments, just like what you were
Really
saying.
just sharing the load.
Yeah, and most of the so coming to this department, hearing about all the other programs that we have, it was unknown to me. I didn't know we had all the programs that we have. I was just like, really? I didn't know the fire departments did that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was just kind of an eye opener, which I think is really cool that you have some firefighters who run programs. I think that teaches good leadership skills and good
Absolutely.
Yeah.
teaches good responsibility, which is in preparation for them to promote and get other responsibilities, and so they kind of are
lets
used
them
to
get
that.
their feet with more administrative roles.
Yeah, and so that teaches them, so when they become officers, it's not so it's not so unnatural to them.
Yeah.
So, but
What about incidents? Because when you talk about low staffing and incidents, we run Palo Canyon rescues, and most of the time now we just deplete one of the stations.
Right.
And when that happens, we've got 4 guys, maybe 5 if the tender driver at the other station's left, but maybe 5 guys for 900 square miles. So, I mean, when you think about that and how long sometimes rescues at PDC take, hours. I mean, there's anything can happen in that amount of time. So, but I think obviously that would be when mandatory callback comes out or something like that. But, I mean, so we have tactics in place for different things, but initially you got 5 guys.
Yeah.
4 or 5
Well,
guys.
and I think that's why training's so important.
Absolutely.
I mean, when low staffing is a reality, you need to be within that operational reality, and you need to have guys that know what they're doing. And the only way to do that is to train. I mean, taking the time every shift to work out and to train, because you can be super squared away on everything, but if you're not physically fit, I mean, what good are you? I mean,
It could be a couple hours before you have anybody. To switch you out.
We don't even get rehab sometimes because there is stuff that needs to be done, and that's our job to do it.
Yeah.
So that's just a big thing for me. I mean, especially when we get a new guy, I mean, there's no really, I mean, we're considered at the slow station where everyone thinks we don't do anything, but we've got a new guy over there now, and it's like, there's no excuse now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think we're not super slammed with calls, and so that gives us the opportunity to train. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's why would you not seize that opportunity to be training and be getting better at the things that you are terrible at, or that you slack at.
You know, and don't be surprised if, an incident is just a shit show if you're just not taking the time to train because you think something is more important than that, or something's more important than the physical fitness side, and I mean, thankfully we haven't really seen that, but there is like a level of, when it's a lot easier for chiefs to let you do cool shit if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
When should we sacrifice standards to have adequate staffing? So basically, like, when should we hire warm bodies just because we need them?
I don't think we should ever, personally.
I agree.
Because I at that point, let's just say we hire somebody who doesn't meet our department standards. Well, then we're not only putting ourselves in jeopardy, but we're putting that person in a situation that could get them killed. And I don't think that's smart at all. I mean, I think we need to have a standard and never deviate from it. If we have 15 applicants and none of them meet the standard, well,
wait for next time
or get better. I don't think, I can't speak for every department, but I don't think we should at all.
Yeah.
I think that's doing a disservice to, like I said, to us, and then to the person that's getting hired, and then it's just like, how much does our name really mean then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think our department does a great job of that, and I'm not saying they don't, but yeah.
I can see how it's easy to kind of fall into we have to fill these positions. We have to have guys on these trucks.
Correct.
We have two stations that cover 900 square miles. Like, we have to have trucks responding to incidents.
Right.
That is our duty to the public.
Yeah.
But, the caveat to that is our duty to the public is to do a good job. Yeah. People expect that. People expect, even on our worst day, if we're the 30th call or they are the 30th call that we run on, like, we still need to know our shit. Mm-hmm. And it's true.
It is true.
But I do kind of see how it can be this battle, and I'm not in an administrative role. I'm not. But I also know that it's even harder for your guys that are online, if it's low staffing.
Yeah.
If we do have just one truck that's covering all this area and it's just getting run down and they run all night, they're working 48, 72s, whatever. Obviously, that's going to take a toll on your operations, but
yep.
It also takes a toll when we're already behind the 8 ball on training this guy, and especially if these people just aren't comprehending what we're doing, and we're we're realizing that now that they have a job that maybe this isn't for them because it got slid through the academy or whatever the case may be. But it's hard on everyone. It's a huge challenge. So
I mean, slide through the academy. I mean, if they, kind of how we learned today. I mean, if they're making the grades and showing up, they're gonna get through the academy.
yeah,
And so, in the academy, they look awesome, right? It's kind of not saying the academy is easy by any means, but if you're showing up and you're making the grades, then it can be easy.
Well,
right? It's easy as you make it.
yeah, and
Right.
just like you said earlier, I mean, a lot of it is trial by fire. The academy is way different than when you get a job.
Yeah.
Like if no one's told you that, like make peace with your God now,
Yeah.
because it is, and you will realize soon enough.
Well, I mean, if you want some action, go to a slow department or go to a low staff department because you will be in the back seat and you
Yeah.
will get it all. So
Well, it's like you go to the academy and you learn the terminology, you learn the nationwide tactics that the book says that people use, and really, do we really? Probably not. Maybe some places do, but
yeah.
Do we
It's
follow
like-
NFPA to the T? No. It depends.
Yes.
but so it's like you go to the academy to basically be certified to learn at your department and learn how to actually do the job.
Yeah.
You're just certified to learn. It's basically what it is. Which, I mean, does that need to be changed? Of course, but that is, that's a tough battle.
I mean, it comes down to after the academy, can you retain the information that you're going to learn on the actual job?
Yeah.
Can you retain everything? You haven't used ladders in 6 months. Can you retain the information you learned 6 months ago and bring it to the training?
Right.
Can you remember all these things that you're doing that you don't use every single day?
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Because we're
That's
not
a big-
throwing ladders every day.
Yeah. And that's the huge challenge for us as instructors at a low-staffed department. And even though we're not technically low-staffed right now, compared to other departments, it may look like we're low-staffed. But
Yep.
and like one of y'all had mentioned, like you have to know everything. There's not, well, we call this station to do this. Well, we
Yeah.
call this station to do this.
Mhm.
You have to be well versed in all of the things. So with us teaching someone entry level
Yep.
that has been taught what the book has been written for, which is one, by someone who doesn't really do it,
Mhm.
or two, someone that is pertaining that book to a department that isn't struggling with apparatus shortage, manpower shortage,
Mhm.
just
So on.
the plethora of things,
Yeah.
that we actually see in the real world.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you right now, the people who write the book don't give a shit about you.
No.
Yeah, no.
I mean, they worry about selling books,
Mhm.
and if a lot of people have a problem with me saying that, message us, and I will have a conversation. But it is true. I mean, how many
Sick 'em.
times did we just study that book and you knew nothing, and you were like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
I'm gonna search on my hands and knees, crawl
Mhm.
around like a baby,
Mm-hmm.
swing my tool out there, and stab someone in the face."
Yeah.
And that's not how you do things.
No.
Like, you get on the job, and it is so hard when we teach at the academy, and I am forced to be that person to be like, I have to teach you this to get you to pass your test, and when you get a job at my department and wherever you go, they will teach you how to actually do it.
Yeah.
But your hands are tied in that situation. And I would love to just be able to be like, this is how the book teaches you, but this is what we do in real life, and then they could differentiate that, but we're also learning that they can't.
Yeah. Can't.
They're
It's
gonna
like, it's
take
like what you were
that-
saying earlier. It's information overload.
Yeah.
You're trying to teach them two different things, and they just can't comprehend
Yeah.
it.
They get another instructor that works at another department that does it
Mhm.
different, and then they're like,
Now there's three
okay,
different
wait,
ways,
now I'm lost.
and
Yeah.
then they get told it's just another tool for your toolbox.
And they're like, what the
Yeah.
hell does that
Well,
mean?
What does that mean?
My toolbox is overflowing. 'Cause
Yeah. They're like, I don't know what
But
that
I think
means.
the academy, it is for base level, book level.
Mhm.
It's just like EMT, book level, base level. This is your basis for everything. Like if you forget everything, go back to this.
Yeah.
And once you get on a department, then we can teach you the way that we have figured out that is easier than this book,
Yeah.
an easier way to do things.
Yeah. But at what point, like, as an instructor, do you feel like almost that you're doing them a disservice? Because I feel like that when I am teaching them that. And but then I've tried to kind of deviate from a little bit of that, thinking that they can just kind of put that in the back of their head. But I mean, these are kids that have no life experience and stuff, and they're just like my 4-year-old daughter at home. If I say shit all the time, eventually she's gonna start saying shit. You know, and I can't be surprised when she does.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same way with teaching these guys. It's like, hey, I tape my mask straps.
Yeah.
But you don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
You don't do that until you get a job somewhere.
Yeah.
Until they get their asses chewed for taking too long putting their mask on. Don't be surprised when their mask straps are taped.
And I think that's where the line, like, where's the line? Where's the line that you're going to get mad at the way they're doing this? They're not quick enough. They're not doing this, but they're doing it like the book said. But you do it a different way at your department, and so in your head, you can't remember the book because you haven't seen the book in 10 years.
Yeah.
And so now you're yelling at this, cadet that is losing his mind.
He's just trying to study for a test.
Yeah.
He's just trying to do what the book told him to do.
Exactly.
What he learned in class.
Yep.
I'll get off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
the damn
we went on a
soapbox.
soapbox with that one here.
That's all right.
And that's the reason for low staffing.
So let me ask you this: how could a department move into direction to get away from being low staffed? What do you think? What do you think they could do?
I think a lot of that has to do with your retention and your culture. Be the change in that department if it's not the way that you be that change in the department if it is not in the place that you see it at a place you want to work. The culture has a lot to do with retention, obviously. There's departments that people hear about, and they obviously, I mean, if they're doing what they're supposed to before they apply for this place, they want to try to learn about it.
Yep.
And if it doesn't sound appealing to that person, especially the newer generation coming in, I mean, they're not going to want to get hazed anymore.
No,
they're not going to want to get treated any different as guys who have the experience and everything. So having a culture that people want to work for obviously is going to affect your retention, and your retention directly reflects onto your staffing level.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of other things that go with that, and there's just departments that can't pay what a giant municipality can pay, obviously. I mean, it's just not there.
Yeah.
And the fire department's the redheaded stepchild of every city, county, whatever. We cost a shit ton of money to run, and we don't bring any revenue in. I mean, unless we run our own ambulance service. But we can't start charging people for house fires because that's not what it's about.
No. Yeah, I mean, I like the what you said about the culture. I mean, there's bad places, there's good places. The grass is not always greener on the other side. And if you think it is, well, go check it out, and it might be brown. So, but be that change. Be that change, and by being that change, I think it comes down to your attitude. How are you going to come into work every day? How are you going to, you may be underpaid. Yeah, you may be always in the back seat and you're tired, but how are you going to come in? What's your attitude going to be? Are you going to just come in and just be pissed off all the time? I don't think that does anything for anybody. And so, I don't know. I think just be the change like you were saying, and make that culture.
I think you're right on the money, but I also feel like too there is a certain point.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you've done all that you possibly can, and there's nothing more you can do. So that I think at that point, that's when it's like, okay, you might need to start looking elsewhere.
And you might have to.
And that's totally fine.
I think that's totally fine.
It's just the way it is, unfortunately. But I think what you're saying is having a good attitude, because that can be contagious to people who are sour, and just coming in and being in a shit attitude, and they see Rustin coming in, and he's always happy. Why is he always happy? And I think I want to be happy, and go start talking to you, and then lo and behold, you got a bunch of people coming over to you talking to you, and now the department's moving in the right direction.
Well, I can tell you, I started this late. Right, I was 32 when I came in here, and I took about a $30,000 a year pay cut. come do this.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie, I don't miss that money. I've wanted to do this for 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
and to get the chance to actually do this job and join the fire service and be a firefighter has been the best move I've ever made, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I wouldn't change it at all. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, money wise, whatever, but you can't focus solely on that.
Yeah.
If you're looking for money, you're never gonna find enough. Sorry,
Do something else.
you're
Mhm.
gonna have to do something else.
Chick-fil-A probably pays more than we do.
They do.
But you know what?
Dude, Walmart managers make like over 400,000 a year.
Buc-ee's, dude.
Buck.
Oh yeah, bussies.
Like I was gonna kind of run off of what you were saying, Rustin. I mean, it's for one, if you are an optimistic person around very pessimistic people, I mean, you're not gonna be able to share your outlook on those people and make them look the way that they do. Some people are gonna leave. Some people are gonna go, and they're just gonna have to go find it. And
That's
if
okay.
they realize that this isn't for them because of the money, or you know, whether it be anything else, I mean, maybe that's the staffing that we don't need there. You know, if they're not mission oriented, and you know, if they're just focused on maybe the things that don't necessarily matter as much, maybe we don't need them.
And you
And
know,
it's gonna happen.
I think that goes back to our standard,
Yeah.
because it's like, so I think the attitude and the standard go hand in hand.
yeah,
Because it's like, you understand the standard that your department has, and you want to uphold that. That obviously comes with having a good attitude of being like, okay, I'm going to make every day worth being here. I'm going to be happy about it because it's the best job in the damn world, and I'm going to hold our standard, and I'm not going to deviate from it. So I think those go hand in hand.
hmm I understand. I totally get that there is a point at which you are growing, your family is growing, you're wanting to do these things. Maybe you need a bigger house. Maybe you're outgrowing your house. I get it. I totally understand. And that's the point, that if you got to leave to go find better money, then that's okay. It's not a bad thing to want more money. I don't.
Yeah.
Are you doing it for the right reasons?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's where the line is. Are you doing it because, you know, there's other departments that make a lot and there's departments that don't? Are you doing it just for the money? Or are you doing it, are you really thinking about your family and your life is growing, and you might have to be saving for your kids' college? I totally understand.
Or does it come from a place of, I deserve this,
Right.
I deserve that?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, we were just discussing this, and those people are everywhere. And, you know, there is a point to where, you know, you just gotta, some people just gotta, you gotta let them fly.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Yeah.
but I think it's very easy to get in a place and kind of, and a lot of times, you know, fire departments see it when they're not fighting fire, they're fighting with each other.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a big issue, and I don't know, it's just, I know that everywhere in the nation they're having these same kind of conversations.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be these damn Gen Zers, these damn Gen Alpha Omega or whatever.
Gin whatever.
Yeah.
Alpha Omega.
But they're all having the same issue, and
Yeah.
it's just the world's changing, man. And if you're not ready to change with it, I mean, don't get surprised if you get left behind.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really harp on more enough that I'm lucky to do this job, to be able to do this job. Like, I consider myself lucky, because I could have gotten stuck where I was and been perfectly fine there. Like, I
Rustin
honestly,
was an ice cream delivery man, by the way.
Bluebell, shout
Maybe
out.
one of, not an ice cream man, but like
I mean,
a pretty high level ice cream man. Yeah.
it runs in my veins. Anyway, I'm trying to get rid of sugar.
It
Gotta
literally
get rid of
was
sugar.
back then, huh?
That's right. I bleed cream. Nope. I didn't say that either.
That's
That's
way
worse.
better. Just keep it.
that in.
Yeah,
Keep
just
that
keep that one.
Anyway, but like, I seriously, I was perfectly fine at Bluebell. I didn't have any issues with that job. One of my best friends still works there, and you know, I could have stayed there and actually been like a manager or a supervisor, route supervisor, whatever, and not made this jump and took this, rather large
Leap of faith.
paycheck for this. And
It really was a leap of faith.
I mean, it really was, and it's worked out. Now, do we struggle? Yeah, but we had this house built when I worked there, so But we have made changes in our life and in our finances that allow me to do this job, and luckily I have a great wife. But I wouldn't change it for anything, and I wouldn't change it for the extra $30,000 a year back. I would.
Does staffing have a direct correlation with the? I keep wanting to say camaraderie, not the camaraderie, but the morale at the station and at your fire department.
I think so. I think it has kind of a role, because just kind of what we were talking about earlier is if your department is experiencing that, you need to try to exhaust everything that you can to try and make that shift to where morale is better. I mean, again, you can only do so much, because I don't know. It just seems like a hit or miss, because I really don't know what else to say. I mean, you can do all that you can, and if it doesn't work, then it is what it is.
It don't work. Yeah.
Yeah, it don't work. But I don't know. You want to elaborate anymore?
I mean, I kind of feel where you're at. I mean, yeah, that's the same.
Yeah. I mean, I also think too, running calls helps.
Yeah.
Running calls
especially fires.
Running
fires helps a lot.
I mean, I'm down to I'll take that lift assist.
Because how many times have we been reloading a crosslay, washing all the junk off of our gear, all the black soot, and we're busting each other's balls, and it's just like, does anyone remember the problems that we had at that moment?
No, they don't.
Like,
tired
after that fire, me and we had it like a week or two ago, after a fire, and we had a little moment, and we watched the sun come up together sitting on the front bumper of the engine after we cleaned everything, and I was just like, this is why I do it.
Yeah.
This is why maybe these issues aren't as big of a deal to me.
It seems like the end of a Hallmark movie.
It was pretty romantic. I think it's very easy at a low staffing department, because there is delegation, because there's all this stuff that needs to be done. It's awesome on the fire ground, but at the station, it's almost just like, I need to be compensated for this. It's very easy to look at these other departments that are, these ESDs that just have all this crazy income coming in that can just be thrown at their department, to where you will be compensated for all the stuff you're doing for this and that and this. And I feel like that there is kind of a level of, it's not the exhaustion of like actually doing the calls and stuff, because we don't mind that, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we have a huge Station 1 that is rented out. We've got TIFMIS teams coming in, and it's like, I know that it's exhausting to clean it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been over there, I've had to clean it,
yeah.
and you can't help but think we're all human, and we're just like, I should be getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
We're getting paid more to do this.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to get into that
mindset.
I deserve this.
Yeah.
I deserve that.
Yeah.
But it's almost, you just got to remember, like, what do they deserve?
Yeah.
Do they deserve a guy who hates coming into work every day, doesn't want to train, he's disengaged just because he's not happy with what he's doing, and then he's being shitty to patients on lift assist at 2 o'clock in the morning? They don't deserve that.
No.
You may think that they do. There's some people that are right there. They might deserve it, but
oh yeah, yeah, they might.
But they don't.
They might deserve it.
Or the new guy coming in that is just so excited to do this, and every time the tone drops, someone's like, "Shit, I just made my plate.
Just made dinner." Yeah.
Someone that's just so unhappy, like,
take it with you.
Is that
I've done that so many times.
I mean, is that fair to them?
Yeah. No.
So, anyway.
God, I keep doing that. Sorry.
So, Rustin, let me ask you this. Okay. Some places out there are thinking that it's impossible. Okay. That we're out here slaying dragons with 8 people.
Ooh.
Okay. Just walk me through. Nate kind of did. But how do we achieve that?
I think we can go back to where Nate was saying about our tactics.
You
but-
can't say what Nate already said.
No. But what I want to say about how do 8 guys do that? Confidence.
That is a perfect answer.
Confidence. And it took me a minute to find it. When I found it, man, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was pumped up. And it was during a fire. I let out a whoo because I was so excited that I found it. You know, I didn't.
Was it that camper fire?
Yeah, I loved it. And it was so, it was
a fun
great.
fire.
It was a fun fire.
Yeah.
But I found it, and I haven't ever let it go.
It makes running calls just that much more fun.
It does.
I mean, because like you go on a fire and it's like your officer just says, "Hey, I need you to vent the roof," and dude, I will be fighting for that saw to vent a roof. I love doing that. And I mean, granted, we haven't been able to do it in quite a while just because of call volume, whatever. But if the opportunity arose, I would be fighting for the saw.
And I think there's a level of confidence that comes with messing up. And
Oh yeah.
a lot of it is, if you mess up, what are you gonna do about it? Are you going to just make an excuse of what happened and then just move on, and then that's the way you live your career now?
Yeah.
Or are you actually gonna do something about it?
Yeah.
Are you gonna make sure that you try to pass on to your new guy so he doesn't make that same mistake? Is he going to? Probably, because he needs to learn for himself. But what are you gonna do with that? And that helps me tremendously with my confidence, is being like, okay, now I know this is baseline.
Right.
Like, when I freak out in a wire box, this is baseline, okay? Now I can crawl, walk, run,
Right.
because I found that limit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing on everything we do.
Yeah.
And confidence is priceless.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it just like you were saying, one day you get it. And, I mean, obviously, a lot of people let that go way too far.
Right.
And they're overconfident,
don't
and
be
they do something
overconfident.
stupid.
Yeah, don't be
right?
over. Yeah.
But, but also just humble yourself. And I think that if you approach everything with humility and be intelligently aggressive and take the time to actually get to learn this stuff that you're not confident in, then you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah. I agree. Well, guys, we just really appreciate all of the feedback we've got, good and bad. We'll take it all. We appreciate all your comments. We appreciate y'all reaching out and telling us that, we're doing a good job, because we don't know what we're doing. And we hope we're doing a good job, and we hope that y'all are getting something out of what we're doing. So keep commenting, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the things. So keep liking, sharing, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Man, my mustache got in the way on that one. YouTube. So subscribe to that, and that's all we got for today. So
Stay hard.
stay hard.
Train hard. Keep pushing. We'll be back in service.
See ya.